Yo, what is going on everyone? MADOLLA here and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. That's right, it's a Destiny 2 video, guys. And yeah, I know, it's been a while since I posted Destiny 2. It's been a while since I've actually played a decent amount of Destiny 2. Your boys had exams, really no other excuse other than that. But I feel like exams are a good enough excuse. Your boy's been struggling, it's been a tough time. I've been stressed out recently, so I haven't had much time to play Destiny 2, play Xbox in general, and make Destiny 2 videos. It's been kind of tough recently, but the exams are gone, the storm has passed, so we're back making more content for Destiny 2, and that's, honestly, I'm just happy to be back. So in today's video, I want to be talking about the three main stats that show up right next to your Guardian in that character loadout screen, basically when you press the start button. And those three stats are mobility, resilience, and recovery. Now those three stats are super important, and if you don't understand what they really do, don't worry, because I got your back in this video, dude. I'm going to explain what those three stats are and which stats are more important than the others, because some stats are useless to some point, are useful to some point, and then at one point you don't want to put any more points into those stats. So I'm going to get into all of them in this video, so don't worry, I got your back, and hopefully you leave this video understanding and having a good understanding of what mobility, resilience, and recovery are. But you know what? I'm not too knowledgeable on this topic. I know someone who is, and I have a guest speaker in this video. And he's actually a warlock. He's a very wise warlock, actually, and he's been playing Destiny, or he's been in the Crucible for years and years. He's a very wise dude. And what's his name, actually? Crap, I should have thought of a name before I made this video. You know what? We're gonna call him what are we gonna call him? We're gonna call him Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy. God damn it, MADOLLA, that's a terrible name. But you know what, screw it, we're gonna go with it. Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy is his name, and we're just gonna go with it, alright? Alright, so he's a very wise warlock, he's really good at the Crucible. I'm gonna shut up and stop wasting your time, and I'm just gonna let Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy just take the wheel, and he'll teach you guys what those three stats are and how you can use them to your advantage. Alright, Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy, you know what, dude, just take it away. I'm gonna shut up now. Oh yes. Okay, so hello class. I am Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy, and I am here to teach you the three stats that are mobility, resilience, and recovery. So it's a good idea to have a deep understanding of these three stats and know how they fit your playstyle, and be able to allocate the necessary amount of points so that you can best suit your playstyle to greater your success in the Crucible. Having a lacking of understanding of these three stats will greatly hinder your experience, and you will have a terrible time in the Crucible, and I don't want that. I want you all to succeed. As a fellow warlock, I wish nothing but greatness upon the Guardians. If you guys want to understand these three main stats and help yourself in the Crucible, then listen to what I have to say for the remaining of this lecture. Oh, damn it. Alright, so apparently Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy over there got hit with a common cold, and now he has a sore throat, and he lost his voice. So who knew a illness could hit a Guardian? It was just like us normal folk. Never knew that. I thought they were immortal or something, or like super strong, but whatever. You know what, he can't teach the rest of the lesson, so I'm just gonna take over for him, and we don't want to take away too much of his pride, so he's still gonna be here pointing out and monitoring the class and making sure that we go on his lesson plans and we follow his lesson plan. So you know what, Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy, I know you can't talk right now, but you know what, just show us on the board what we're dealing with. What's the first stat, dude? Okay, so you're gonna go with mobility. Alright, so we're starting off with mobility, guys. Mobility is a stat that is very important in this game, and what mobility refers to is your base jump height and your movement speed, and this is your non-sprinting movement speed, so your walking speed. And you're probably wondering, like, MADOLLA, why does that even matter, dude? Like, no one cares about base jump height anymore. You have jetpacks, you have blink. This is why you mantle. No one cares about jump height. Jump height is absolutely useless. And okay, maybe you're right. And then you're also probably wondering, Walking speed? Who walks these days? Walking is so obsolete in the FPS game. That's why we have a sprint button, dude. No one walks these days. Who walks in an FPS shooter? I'm talking to you, Master Chief. Mr. I don't learn how to walk until Halo 4. Really, dude? But all jokes aside, walking is super important because there is one situation in the Crucible or in any FPS shooter where you will be walking or not sprinting 100% of the time, and that is when you're in a freaking gunfight. If you're in a gunfight, there is no way in hell you're shooting your gun and sprinting at the same time, unless you're hacking, and then Bungie's gonna throw the ban hammer on you if you're on PC. I feel like that's too soon of a joke to make, but I made it anyway. But pretty much, you're not gonna be able to shoot and sprint at the same time. So what are you gonna be? You're gonna be moving around at your walking speed. And what are you gonna do when you're in a gunfight? You're gonna be freaking strafing. That's what you're gonna be doing. And strafing is correlated with your walking speed. So the faster your mobility is, the faster your walking speed, and therefore the faster your strafe. Strafing is super important in the Crucible because when you're in the middle of a gunfight, you want to make sure that you can strafe fast enough so that you can throw your enemies aim off guard, so you can throw your enemies aim off, but you're strafing and not too much so that your aim is inconsistent. I'm gonna word that a lot better. Pretty much, you want to be able to strafe fast enough so that you can consistently hit your shots, but your enemy can't consistently hit their shots, and that's when you know that you have the edge in the gunfight. And having a higher mobility is going to help make your strafe a lot faster so that you can have that edge. So basically, when your strafe is faster, it's going to be harder for the enemy to hit you, and when it's harder for the enemy to hit you, it's going to be easier for you to win the gunfight. That was a mouthful. But that's pretty much what mobility does. So although we don't really necessarily care about the base jump height because of jetpacking and the blink and all the other stuff, and mantling of course, we do care about the walking speed because it directly relates to our strafe speed, and strafing is super important in the Crucible. So if you're not strafing, make sure you learn how to strafe so you can improve your Crucible skills, and make sure you throw a couple points into mobility. Don't max it out. There's no point to maxing out mobility. Just make sure you have enough so that you can have fast enough strafe. And pretty much mobility is the hunter's special trait, so the hunters always have the higher mobility. So if you want to be a mobile character, I would suggest trying out the hunter. Now, you know what, that's pretty much all I have to say about mobility. Dr. Professor Warlock, dude, what's the next stat, dude? Tell the class what the next stat is. Okay, so we're gonna go with resilience. Alright, resilience directly correlates with your overall HP, basically the damage that you can take after your shields are gone. After the enemy shoots at your shields, it's how much damage you can take before you freaking die, dude. So resilience is also an important stat, obvious. Just by looking at it, you're probably wondering, well, MADOLLA, having higher resilience probably means that you're a lot tankier so you can take more shots. So wouldn't I just want to max out my resilience as much as possible? Well, the answer to that is no. Yes, it does increase your HP, but I've been doing a lot of research and I've been looking into this, and it doesn't do it by a lot. There is also a soft cap in the resilience stat, so there is a point where it doesn't increase your health as much as it does before. So we're going to simplify this math, we're going to make it super simple for the sake of explanation. Let's say your Guardian's base HP is 150. And I know no Guardian has 150 HP, everyone has around 186, but for the simplification of math, we're going to say that the base Guardian HP is 150. So with a 150 HP, you are going to have a 2 HP increase for every resilience point up to 5. 5 resilience is the soft cap. So let's say with resilience 0, you have 150. With the resilience 5, you will end up with a whopping 160 HP, which is absolutely insane, not really. And then after that, you're going to have a decrease. You're going to have a soft cap, so you're just going to increase HP by 1 every time you increase a resilience point. So by resilience 10, the most you're going to have is 165, which at the end of the day is one more auto rifle shot that you can take. So you're super tanky apparently, not and again, that was sarcasm. So you're not really that tanky. So it's not that important to put that many points into resilience. I usually hold around 3 or 4 points of resilience. Maybe, yeah, basically if you go above that soft cap, you're wasting your armor your armor pieces on resilience. You'd rather throw them into other stats like mobility. So it's important to have a decent amount of resilience so you can take one more shot, but it's not important to the fact that you have to go above the soft cap to keep getting a little more health. That's when it gets a little outrageous, and you don't wanna really go above resilience 5. I'd say 4 is probably the best resilience amount to have for the Crucible. One more thing about resilience is that it's the Titan's main stat. So basically, if all 3 classes had 10 resilience, the Titan will have the highest resilience apparently. So if you want to be a very resilient character, Titan's the best thing. The Titan armor stats always give you the most resilience points. That's all I have to say about resilience. You know what, Dr. Professor Warlock, dude, what's the next stat? There's one more left. Oh, okay, so it's recovery apparently. I feel like you had no plan. You were just going in the order of the stats that are presented on the screen. But whatever, you save the best for last anyway, apparently. So, like, spoiler alert, recovery is the best stat in my opinion. And in the opinion of Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy, he says that recovery is by far the best stat to have for the Crucible. And I'll tell you why. You're probably wondering, what the hell is recovery? Well, recovery is basically the time it takes for your shield to recharge the moment it starts recharging. So it doesn't decrease the amount of time it takes for your health bar to start regenning. That time is still the same, but the amount of time it takes for that actual bar, once it starts filling up, it's basically the speed the bar fills up at is a lot faster the higher recovery you have. So recovery, I feel like, is the most important stat in the Crucible. And then mobility comes in second. But that's my opinion. But I would say that recovery is the most important stat, and there are multiple reasons why I think that. Well, one thing is, if you're getting shot and let's say you're one shot away from death, and you're behind a corner and an enemy starts chasing you, and then let's say it takes a couple seconds, your shields begin to recharge. If you have 0 recovery and he finds you with like half shields, you're pretty much dead. But let's say you had a very high recovery, like a recovery of 7, which is what I run. If you had like a 7 recovery, there's chances that when he comes around that corner, you're already full shields, which means that you are already set again to fight him. Let's pull out another example. This is going to be super over exaggerated, but it'll get my point across. Let's say you're playing a game of Control and Capture B, the game just started, so Capture B Control Point B is what you have to capture. Let's say there's a team fight that starts. It's a 4v4. Every single player on the field ends up going one shot. They lose their shields or one shot from death. And let's say your team has 0 recovery overall. No one has any recovery points, but the other team has maxed out 10 recovery. So by the time everyone's shields begin to recharge, the other team will already have full shields before your team has full shields. So they can already peek out of their corners and be ready to head glitch or shoot at you before they'll already have that positional advantage, and they'll probably win those gunfights and be able to get the control point a lot quicker than you, like before you can even contest it, which makes a big difference. So it's important to upgrade that recovery or allocate enough points to recovery so that you have a high enough recovery so that your shields recharge at a decent rate. So, and recovery is the main Warlock ability, so Warlock gear always yields a lot of recovery. So but overall, I'm not saying to max out recovery at 10. That is not what I'm trying to come across. I'm trying to say, and Dr. Professor Warlock Buddy over there is trying to say, even though he can't speak, he's trying to say that it's a good idea to mix and match your points so that you can split it over all 3 of the stats to best fit and best suit your playstyle, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to have enough mobility, enough resilience, and enough recovery to fit your playstyle where you feel comfortable playing in the Crucible, and that's all it comes down to. But if you don't know how to figure that out, this is a good starting point to start those points off, and then you can figure out what you need to tweak here and there. But at the end of the day, recovery out of all 3, in my opinion, is by far the best stat to work with. That's pretty much all I have to say about mobility, recovery, and resilience. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to keep up with more of my content. And I hope you guys all have a very good rest of your day, and I will catch you all later.